Hello, Raw Crew. It's Latch here, just in my bedroom. This is where I have to come to do my work with all this working from home business, with my girlfriend doing the real work downstairs. Anyway, I just thought I'd drop you a little message to say that we've just hit 2,000 likes on Facebook. Can't believe it. Absolutely blown away. Amazing. I knew there'd be interest in this project when I started it, from spending so much time during lockdown on all the Facebook pages, on Twitter, on Instagram, all the people who are into 90s rave music. But I didn't quite know it would be this popular so quickly. So thank you so much. We're also well on the way to becoming a YouTube partner with 4,000 viewing hours on YouTube, which will mean that we become a proper platform, which I did not expect at all within 2 months of starting this back when we launched it. But it's all because of you, because for every single one of you who've engaged in whatever way that might be, whether it's watching it, listening to it, it's subscribing to it, it's liking it, it's sharing it, it's commenting on it, it's telling your pals about it, telling your mum, telling your dad, whoever. It's all because of you. And without you, there is no podcast. It doesn't exist. So thank you ever so much for any, even the smallest engagement in what we're doing. The feedback we've had has been 98% positive. It's been so overwhelming, and we've all been blown away by it. So thank you so much. Also, anyone who's donated to our crowdfund, we've managed to raise like £2,000, more than £2,000 in 2 months, which has allowed us to improve our microphones, which means that Paul Kingsize, before when we were recording on a potato, he was just doing a sensational job, but it was taking him forever. So now, fingers crossed, we've got some quality microphones because of you guys. It means that it makes his life easier, and it makes it sound even more banging than it did before, and it sounded pretty banging before anyway. Also, we are hopeful of sort of doing more video stuff, so we're going to keep the crowdfund going a little bit, and maybe try to get in some camera gear to do more video output, because I think that it's important to have a mixed output of audio and video, and just do a whole host of things. And if you would like to donate to the crowdfund, you can do so at gofundme.com/the 90s Rave podcast. That is gofundme.com/the 90s Rave podcast. I know it's tough times. Like, I get, it's really, really difficult for so many of us in the country at the moment with what's going on, but anything at all that you can donate to us to help us just keep improving the quality of the content and keep it going, actually, and hopefully bring some enjoyment and some entertainment to your lives at what is a pretty shit time. We can't get out to raves, we can't go to raves, and it's tough. So at least we're hopefully trying to keep the rave alive a little bit, whether you are a raver still, or you once upon a time were a raver but perhaps aren't anymore. So yeah, anything you can donate, that would be amazing, because we have got really big plans for the future. We announced just the other day, and it absolutely went off the hook, this announcement. Force and Styles doing a 25th anniversary, very rare, exclusive joint interview together. The announcement absolutely banged. I can't believe how popular it's been. And if you think that if you're excited by the names alone, just wait until you hear the actual interview itself. It is an absolute classic. Fantastic. There's nothing we don't cover, and we really go into great depth and detail with those guys. With that in mind, I'd like to thank them for doing that. I'd also like to thank Slipmatt. I'd like to thank Lunacy. I'd like to thank Brian G. And I'd like to thank Fabian Groove Rider and everyone who's appeared on Raw so far. You've been brilliant, all of you, and I think that we can all agree that they've given a heck of a lot of themselves, and perhaps, I think, hopefully, because this was always the aim, was to show a slightly different side to them, perhaps put some meat on the bones. You see them behind the decks, but you don't necessarily know what they're about or what they are like as people, and hopefully we've done that, and they've been very generous with their time and with sharing of information to let you guys know exactly who these people are and what makes them tick, because ultimately that was why I decided to start this podcast, was because I really wanted to I love the music and the scene, the 90s rave scene, but I didn't know a great deal about these guys, and that was the aim, was to sort of try to find out a little bit more about those people that had us all, dancing over the years through the 90s. And hopefully, fingers crossed, we've done that. The feedback suggests that we are doing that, and we're just going to keep doing that. But we really need your help with anything, whether it's funding, with just liking, subscribing, commenting. Why don't you comment, in fact, in below this to tell us what you want from Raw? Because we're sort of, we're interviewing people, we're stabbing in the dark a little bit, but we're really keen to do what you want to do. So if there's someone that you're keen to hear from, or you think there's an idea that you've got for us, stick it in the comments below, because we read them all, we respond to them all, and this is your podcast. This is a podcast for you, for the ravers, and also keep subscribing, keep liking, all that sort of stuff, because it all helps us to grow. It hits the algorithm, it makes more people see it, gets on more people's screens, and it means that more people are seeing this project that we're trying to create. Big plans for the future as well. Been chatting recently, just off the phone a minute ago, to Force, talking to him about the idea of maybe some books potentially down the line. Previously went out for a beer with Slipmatt, and I'm dropping names, apologies, but if you can't drop a name when you're doing a 90s rave podcast name, a 90s rave scene name when you're doing the 90s rave podcast, then when can you drop a name? I was talking to Slipmatt a while ago, went for a beer with him. I've been sort of picking his brains on the potential for maybe doing some documentaries about the 90s rave scene as well. But they're grand plans. They might not happen, but they're definitely in our minds. They're definitely in our thoughts. We'd like to do it. And any help that you can give us, in whatever form that is, it will all help us to grow this platform, to make it bigger, make it more exciting. And there is the potentially, at the moment, I'm talking to someone, big announcement, maybe going to expand the Raw crew a bit. There's a household name from the 90s rave scene who hasn't been linked with our podcast yet, who we've been talking to about maybe coming on board and becoming a sometime co-presenter. And if we are able to announce that, you're going to love it. You're just going to love it. So stick with us. Keep sharing, keep liking, keep commenting down in the comments, because I'd love to hear from you, please. And finally, if I can, just give a big shout to all the Raw crew, to Chrissy, to Paul. They both do a fantastic job, and also Grant, who is Grantus Arts, who creates all our brilliant artwork. And if you like that stuff, head over to his Facebook page or his Instagram or his or Twitter, Grantus Arts. To see more of the sort of great stuff that he does. Thanks as well to Sam and to Sean, who helped with the graphics and the video and all that. Without you guys, none of you, without you guys, all of you, I couldn't have done what we've done so far, and this podcast would not exist. So thank you to all of you. But thank you mostly to all of you out there watching this for your support. We've just got started. We've got loads more to do, and we need you to keep supporting us. So do all those things. Keep it up. We love your support. Oi, oi.